Well, hello, everyone. This is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor at Samson Properties. We'll be back in just 1 minute to go ahead and start this episode. Stay tuned. Go. Recording in progress. So, hello, everyone. I'm Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor here at Samson Properties, along with my little cardinal friend sitting over my shoulder. Good thing it doesn't poop on me, which is always a good thing. So, yes. All right. So, in today's session of Master Your Marketing, as you hopefully know, and it's great to see some new faces online with me today, Master Your Marketing is done every Thursday at 2:30. The purpose of this Master Your Marketing is to take a deep dive into the nitty-gritty of all of the marketing pillars that you have available to you. Hopefully, you have all completed Jumpstart Session 4 and have determined what is your hot button. What are you excited about? Which sessions, or which topics, because there's 24 of them, that you can go, oh, okay, I love that. Not I like that, but I love that. And I would be willing to commit to it. So each Thursday in these sessions, we take a deeper dive into one individual topic, hitting eventually all 24 options for you. So in this session, we are going to be talking about the Master Your Marketing to Absentee Owners and what you need to know about that. So that's what we're going to dive into. All right, so the first thing I want to do is talk about or make sure you know if this is a pillar that you are wanting to expand upon for your marketing. How do you find who's the homeowner and who's the absentee owner? Well, if you go into your Bright MLS, you're going to run a report, not a search. You're going to specify the area or the development or however you want to do it. And then you'll scroll down a little bit and in the search button, it'll take you for public records. Then the biggest takeaway is in there on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a little tiny box that says owner occupied. That is your magic wand to trigger that off. So if you are doing just a general search and you leave it blank, it's going to give you everybody in that search component. If you go to owner occupied and tell it yes, it will only give you the numbers of those that are in that pocket that are actually the homeowner. Makes sense. If you tell it under owner occupied, the little button and the drop down, you got yes or no options. And if you tell it no, that is going to bring you up the homes that the owner's mailing address for their taxes goes someplace else. So the owner does not occupy that property, which means more than likely there is a renter in that property. So if you're going to market to renters, that's one of your options. But when you run that report, it's going to come out. Then you can download it into an Excel spreadsheet. It will give you the property address. It will give you the owner's name along with other information and the owner's mailing address that's on file. So that is how you identify which homes in a particular area are a non-owner occupied. Now, the brilliance of this is kind of an untapped market for agents to market to, because you're kind of going in blind just a little bit. And I'm going to explain what that means. So, but for those who are willing to take, I don't know, 50 or 100, start small and build out, it needs to be consistent every 4 to 6 weeks. Now, because you often do not have an email address or a phone number, it means your only option for communicating to those non-owners or the non-owner occupied properties is by mail. So you need to look and ask yourself, okay, what is my monthly budget that I can afford to run with? Is it postcards? Can I budget X amount? If I need to mail something, can I budget X amount? Frankly, my recommendation would be mailing them monthly, postcard, and then either a newsletter or a specific letter. And I'm going to give you the details on that. So that would be my recommendation. But again, you need to be able to commit to 12 to 24 months every month, consistent, with something going to the absentee owner. But we got you. You can send, after you send the initial letter and introduction, you can continue to send newsletters. You can send postcards. And don't panic with, I don't know how to do postcards, because guess what? We already have them for you. In Cardinal Nest, under the resources, when you go there, it's going to bring you up a search box on the right-hand side of the screen. When you type in there GEO, G-E-O, which is short for geographical farming, or geofarming for short, it's going to bring you up the library of postcards. We have 4 already developed for the homeowners. We have 4 already developed for the renter that is in a property. We have 4 already set up for the non-owner occupied. And those can go direct, again, the right message to the right target. And that's what those are designed and geared for. Now, if you think, ooh, but yeah, I'd like to send maybe a monthly report or a free report. Oh, wait, we got you. So again, back into your Cardinal Nest, into the resources. And if you type in free reports, I don't even think you need to type in reports. If you just typed in free, I think it populates up. So under free reports is going to populate up a library of free reports that we already have. Now, if you're going to do those, make sure that you're looking carefully at setting the right message to the right target. You would not pull the free report on rent versus buy, because that's stupid. That would be a waste of time and money. So, but know those are there, and know that as of this date in mid-March, we've got 9 or 10 more free reports that are being worked on that will be uploaded here shortly. Okay. If there is something specific that you need, do not ever hesitate to email me with idea for a new report, idea for a new postcard, idea for a new whatever, because guess what? I've got connections with the marketing team. Just saying. And all I got to do is email them and they will get it out for us as soon as possible. Okay. Now I want to share another little sneak peek with you. All of you know that we also have the 1-page grab and go newsletter. We are giving it a makeover as we speak. I have just submitted in the outline for the entire year to be done. And we've also now have a list of ideas for a newsletter title. As of right now, in the past, it's been this Samson Sentinel. If you want to change it, we're changing it. So again, your backup of resources other than Cardinal Nest is my website. My website is lynnhamilton.samsonproperties When my site loads up, you'll see a tab that I've created for you guys that says Agent Resource Center. On there is bonus handouts. And on that page, you will see ideas for your newsletter title. Go take a look at it. Find one that goes, ooh, I like that. There you go. But little sneak bit of information coming your way. In addition to the regular monthly newsletters, we are creating a special edition newsletter. The special edition will not be every month, but the special edition will be there to supplement or to add as a filler based on specific needs. Again, target bullseye. These are for the bullseye. We're going to have a special edition for buyers. We're going to have a special edition for bringing added value to your home. We're going to have a special edition for selling or move down in size, which is like your seniors, moving down into something smaller. It's going to address also the fact of smart upgrades, boosting curb appeal. I could say that right. 5 upgrades that'll add value to your home, that type of stuff. There will be one that we're working on that is going to be addressed to those that are literally going to be needing, not necessarily wanting, but needing to sell their home and go into an assisted living or a much smaller setup because they have specific concerns and specific needs. What do I do with all my lifelong treasures? So we're customizing a special edition, one edition, to address that group of individuals. We're also going to have a special edition of home organization and maintenance. We are probably going to also add one for the absentee owner. Okay, so all of these are getting ready to come your way relatively soon. So take a breath. You've decided you want to work absentee owners. You've done a report or a search. You have identified the non-owner occupied. No, so it's going to give you the list of the property address, the homeowner's name, and their mailing address. You will download that into an Excel file based off the instructions in the MLS. And now you've got your roster for mailing. So the question then comes is, okay, I got that far. Let's say I'm just going to make up a number. There's 78 of them in the area that I want to work. Okay, you're good with that. You now are able to look at your budget to say, can I afford to do a postcard or a letter mailed to them every month? Postcards can go out through the print center. Now I know that so it has typically been said there needs to be a minimum of 200. However, if you only have 78 or 100 on your list, we can still do that. What will happen is they will print them and have them ready. And then they will bundle it with another small group. So it's at least 200 or more. And then they will send them out. Okay. I'm going to say worst scenario. It may be delayed a day. But frankly, if you have never seen our print center in Chantilly, it is a work of art. It runs 24/7. So there's always batches of stuff going out. You cannot beat the price on it, and it is well worth it. So that's I know a lot of agents held back they knew there had to be 200, but because you're here with me today, it's okay if it's less. They'll just hold it batch it with another group, because as long as it goes out at 200, you're good to go. Okay. Just don't tell everybody that. Just because you're here with me today, do you get that information? So there, nanner, nanner. Okay. So let's move on. You've got your list. You've downloaded it. You know how many you got. You've looked at your budget and said, okay, I can do this. What do I send them now, Lynn? Oh, wait, I'm going to show you. And guess what? I have just found, I knew I had it, my little packet here that was a handout in a class that I one time did. I am going to download this. And when I download this recording, this will be attached to it as the bonus handout. So there you go. And that'll be on my website for quick and immediate retrieval. All right, so here's an example or sample of a letter. Now, here's what I would do. I would do a drive-by through the neighborhood. I would have the list, obviously, of the addresses that are non-owner occupied. I would use my cell phone, take a quick picture from the street of the house. Zoom in, get it as close as you can. I would get back to the office. I would download the picture, and I may decide to do 5 a day or 5 a week. I don't care. I would download the picture and print it and put it right into a Word document. And then underneath, again, you're just typing this out, wanted to share a snapshot of what is happening near your property at 123 Cardinal Way, Fredericksburg, Virginia. And in there, you can also add a snippet from your MLS of what is currently sold or what is currently active. You know, you can grab it and drop it in there. Now, if you're going to do that part, make sure, I got it right here for you as a reminder. It says disclaimer, properties reflect a variety of brokerages. You do not want to leave the assumption that they are all yours. You're going to get in hot water. Don't do that. And then the next sentence is, regardless of whether you're a landlord or an investor, I would love to bring you up to speed on the surrounding market conditions. Are you interested? Question mark. Shoot me an email and I'll send you some additional information that you can look at your convenience, and you can contact me when you're ready to chat further. Please do not say call me now. That is probably one of the most annoying and turn off taglines in the market and in sales. Call me now. No, I'm drunk. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not calling you now. And trust me, people have done that. They have called their agent at 2 o'clock in the morning and drunk and said, well, your postcard said, call me now. Don't even bother. Okay. Now, what I would have on here as well, again, it says shoot me an email. In the meantime, feel free to visit my website where you can click on estimation of home value, and you can find free reports or whatever else you want to identify in your letter that is already up on your website, which means you need to make sure your website is up and functioning. If you've added additional pages to it where you can customize reports and stuff out, that is absolutely bonus. Then obviously you would have your contact information on the bottom, and this would get mailed off. Now, what is going to happen is they're going to fall into one of two categories. You do not know if they are an investor that has more than one property, or if they're just the homeowner that decided to rent it after grandpa passed and grandma had to come with them, or go into assisted living and they decided to rent the property instead of selling it, and yada, yada, yada. So again, there's that unknown factor. So this is why we address it as whether you, regardless of whether you're a landlord or investor. There you go. Now, This also lets them see a picture of the house, because if they're living someplace else, $5 says they have not seen the shape of the house anytime recent. So by letting them see what the house looks like can work in a couple of ways. They may look at that picture and go, wait a minute, they said they were keeping the grass up and the front yard up. It looks like crud. Or why is there 6 cars parked on the grass out front? They may not be aware of what their property currently looks like. So that can work as well. If they are an investor, here's what I would ask you to do. Again, if this is one of your pillars, you are at least 1 week out of the month. Remember, there's 4 pillars and 4 weeks to the month. Let's say this is pillar number 3 for you. So the 3rd week of the month, you will go in, make sure you've got a couple more of these sent out. You will take a look. Has there been any new listings that have popped up in that, I'm going to say 5 or 10 mile radius of where the subject property is? If they are an investor, they often like to buy within a similar radius, because if they've got to come and do maintenance or do something, it's easy to, it's easier when it's all side by side. Okay. Now, you would occasionally, again, this could be one of your once a quarter touch, is say, here's what's happening in the area of your property at 123 Cardinal Way. If you're an investor, are you thinking about or considering picking up a second property in the immediate area? Now you're opening up a question for conversation, because they may come back and say, yeah, you know what, this has been a good investment property. Yeah, help me find another one in the immediate area. Okay, you can do that. You also now have the ability to create, I may see if marketing can do it for me, create a postcard or a mailer to them that says, did you know that Sampson Property offers property management that's available to you? Here's what it covers. Here's what it does, blah, 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 blah. Promote that as well. That is identifying their need or answering the question to a need that they have or may someday soon have. If they are just a landlord and they look at this property and go, it looks like crud, they said they were keeping it up, they may get to a point they say, you know what, I am done being a landlord. I want no part of it anymore. Sell the friggin' property. There you go. Now, is it possible? This is something you need to know. In the rental agreement, are the renters given the first right of refusal? That is a term that you need to know, and that is a question that you need to be able to ask. Basically, it states that in their rental agreement, and it may or may not be there, that homeowner, or excuse me, the renter has the first right to either purchase or refuse purchasing the property. So you want to use that buzzword with the homeowner is curiosity. Does the current renter have first right of refusal? You need to know that. There you go. Okay. And then obviously, proceed forward. This is where the newsletter and the specialty newsletters are great little just touch points. Okay, got to mail them out, but it's great little touch points. Because some of the postcards are even geared towards landlord or investor, getting, again, the right message to the right target. And there you go. All right. In the handout that we'll have uploaded later, And I see Katie Core on here, so I will update this before I post it. Um, Again, according to various reports, the average person will respond to you after they have received information from you and they have a need from 6 to 9 times or more. Because again, they're not going to reach out until the need has changed. The average agent will stop after the third or fourth attempt to contact. Is there a discrepancy there? Is there a gap there? This is why you hear me all the time saying if you're going to commit, you need to commit to 12 to 24 months. You need to know what the number is. You need to know what it's going to cost you to send out mail versus postcards. What does your budget allow you to do? Now, you can start with 50. When time allows, you can add to 75. When time and budget allows, you can add to 100. When time and budget allows, you can add to 150. When time and budget allows, you can add out to 200. But you don't necessarily start with 500 or 10,000 because it's a one and done. And we know one and done doesn't work. So that's why I say it is better to start with a smaller pool, be consistent, and then build out as your budget allows you to build out. Okay, that's a good takeaway. In this handout, we have also created or have shown some fun little ideas for postcards in case you decide you want to do them yourself. There are some ideas. And should I sell my house now? Again, we've got some stuff there. Thinking of selling, opportunity knocks, the market's changing. So again, I'm going to make sure that these are updated. And I take Katie Core out of my comments and then add QR code in here as well. So again, it's going to be a template for you to kind of run with. So that is the bullseye of going after and marketing to non-owner occupied. So backing up one step from the very beginning, the first thing you do is you go into your Bright MLS system. I don't care what it is or where it is, pretty much all the same. You go into it, you're going to run a search. It's going to be public records is what you're looking for. Again, I got it right here for you. There's this search, public records. When it comes up, it's going to ask you for whether the zip code or the neighborhood or the subdivision or however you want to, identify it. Once you've got it nice and neat and tidy, on that same screen, you're going to scroll down a little bit. And what you're looking for is the owner occupied box. The owner occupied box, when you tell it no, that will give you the list of those that do not live in the house, that their mailing address for basically their taxes, property taxes, goes to a different address. Again, we don't know if they are a investor that has a dozen properties. We don't know if they are just a family that decided to rent it out for a while, but either way, this is often an untapped market because agents do it once or twice. Well, I didn't get anything. Well, guess what? That's because the need wasn't there yet. You haven't sold them on. They're getting from other agents every once in a while. They're not stupid. They know if it's a one and done that you're fishing for business. If you start bringing a consistent tidbit of information that is of value to them, your credibility will sustain and will go through the roof. And just like McDonald's advertising, when the time comes that they need to buy another investment property or sell the property that they have, because also too, you gave them a picture of the house, and I would do it once a year, you now are top of mind. Now, one other little bonus. Because they live somewhere else, you want to make sure that you have a safe place for them to come and check you out and get additional information. I would make sure that you have a LinkedIn page that is business related. It's not you partying on Friday night. It's business related. And have it linked on your website as well. You can reference your LinkedIn page in the letter in your signature line, but also have a QR code as well as your email address, or excuse me, as well as your domain name, whichever one you're using, that will take them to your website. Because again, they may be in a different time zone. So you want to make the information that you can provide to them easily accessible at whatever ungodly hour they want to come check it out. Do not use call me now, because they're not ready to call you yet. So have information on your website that will provide them, oh, okay, you know, how to, and again, we're working on more documents now to help with this, whether it be a free report, whether it be a newsletter, whether it be whatever. So you can create a custom tab on your website with a drop-down box to have it, you know, do you own a property in another area? Or tips for absentee owners, however you want to label it. Okay. Now, yes, this is where a little bit of extra work comes in. Your website is absolutely a foundational piece to your business. You want to make sure, and again, I get it if you're not tech savvy, but you can learn the basics. Will right now is our go-to source for bull trails. If you're using the Bull Trail, formerly known as KV Core website. If your website is inactive, which means you haven't logged in 90 days or more, I can reactivate it for you. Shoot me an email. I can look it up and just click a button and get you back up in action in no time. But here's also why I want you to go look at my website, linhamilton.samsonproperties.net. It is the same platform that you guys have available to you. I've changed the wording on a couple of my tabs, and I've added a couple of tabs. You have the ability to do the same thing with your Bull Trails / KV Core website. I want you to, as you, obviously, two main reasons for me directing you to my site. I want you to take it to be a quick and easy access to access documents, handouts, bonus stuff, video stuff, you know, listen and learn stuff when I'm on the road or not available to answer your email. I want you to know that this is my go-to source as an agent here at Samson, besides the resource tab. And okay, little inside secret here. They're doing some work behind the scenes on Cardinal Nest. They have created my own page for me. I have just sent over a ton of stuff that I want uploaded onto it. But in the meantime, my page is your go-to source. So you are my SOI, our agents. I want to put what I know you need quick access to on my site. As you go there and look at it, I want you to go, this is kind of cool. Now, my market, my sphere, my pillar is absentee owners. What idea can I take from Lynn's site and add to my site? This is why I have on their videos. This is why I have on their links to handouts. This is why I have the other stuff on there, because it is your go-to source 24/7. You should also be thinking, how can I make my website a go-to source 24/7 based off my pillars and the specialty that I want to relay to people? There you go. Okay. If you do not remember how to, first off, if you haven't gone through Jumpstart, I'm going to give a shameless plug once again, because I see got some new faces on today. I'm going to beg you to go through Jumpstart. Jumpstart 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have just re-recorded all 4 sessions in one day about a month ago in Chantilly. Session 1 had a major overhaul to it. The handouts are currently on my website, Agent Resource Center, bonus handouts. They're right there. Click them, download them, go into Samson University, which is part of Cardinal Nest. In the search box, when you get in there, search for Jumpstart. You want the new, I think they took the other ones out, but you want the new 2025 edition of Jumpstart. It's there for you. Jumpstart 1 and 2 is going to help build the foundation of your business. It's like putting a puzzle together. Jumpstart session 3 is about your database, how to label and tag and sort and organize your database. I don't care if you're starting with 3 or 3,000. It needs to be organized so it is. And again, I give you every step of what you need to do. Jumpstart session 4 is all about the marketing department of your business. We talk about working on your business, working in your business. We talk about what are the 24 pillars that you can possibly build out. And then you just need to decide which ones hit your hot button that you can get excited about working with, and then allow and know that regardless of what it is, we have done an additional full training video on that topic. And Thursday here are the mini versions to refresh and help push you forward. Okay. So that is how all of our tools are available for you, our Samson agents. And we're trying to make your life as easy as possible for you. Okay. All right. So those are the major tips on absentee owners. The last little tidbit I want to talk about with you is 1031 exchange. If you are going to work with a owner who's absentee, that means this is more than likely a secondary property for them. 1031 is the IRS code 1031. You can look it up. In fact, I would look it up and I would print it out. And that would be a potential handout or mailer or add to your website, tips that every, absentee owner needs to know. Because if they sell and it is not their primary residence, there may be tax consequences on that sale. However, if they are going to sell it and reinvest, oh my God, do not do anything with it until you get additional tips and guidance on executing a 1031 exchange. Talk to your title company, Cardinal Title, first, because if you do not do it correctly from square one, you are putting that seller at risk of paying taxes on that property. And I never again want to hear a client complain that their agent didn't know, didn't advise them, and it ended up costing them $30,000 to the IRS. This is where you hear me say now, I want you to be completely aware of the financial responsibilities you carry on your shoulders. You have the ability to financially ruin someone. You have the ability to bankrupt someone. You have the ability to misguide a buyer to the point that they end up having to lose the house and turn it back over to the bank because you made a major mistake and didn't know what you were doing. And you've heard me say it once and you'll hear me say it again. Stop flying by the seat of your pants. Because if I hear again an agent, oh, well, I didn't know. I only do this part-time. And, they're probably going to have to pay taxes anywhere at some point. I want to slap her. That's not your screw up to make. So again, if they're going to be selling a property and not reinvesting, before you do anything, make sure they are aware of the 1031 tax consequences, which means they need to talk to their financial advisor and you need to understand the parameters, because you have to identify if they're going to buy something else, they need to buy at a same or greater value, not less than what they're selling for. Because if not, there may be some tax consequences in there. So make sure if you're going to go down this path that you also talk to your Cardinal Title, to get some great guidance and recommendation. Look up that tax code, send that tax code to the homeowner and say, please, before we get started, let's talk to your tax, or you please talk to your tax person or your financial advisor to make sure you are totally aware of the pros and cons. Okay. Yeah, I've seen it. I have seen it where they sold a property. It was a property they used for business. Yes, they bought something else, but what they bought something else was less than what they sold for. They ended up getting a bill, boom, broadsided from the IRS for $30,000. Let me just say he was PO'd. I don't know about you, but I'd be PO'd. When he went back to the agent, oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't do, I don't know anything about that 1031 stuff. And, I don't know, because I only do this part-time, and I'm too stupid to go get, further education, because also too, I'm too lazy to do it. I'm just saying. All right. So know that you are asking another person to trust you with the biggest financial purchase or sale of their life. You do not have the right to screw it up, especially with an absentee owner. So make sure that you get legal advice from our title company. Make sure you advise them to get legal advice from their tax preparer as well. You as a real estate agent, do not give them legal advice or tax advice. That's not your lane to tap dance in. Send them to the source. Do not be the source. Because in case you're wrong, you're going down in flames. Okay. Now, could that client have gone back and filed, a complaint against that agent? You betcha. You bet. But it was an old family friend. And they didn't want to rock the boat. But dang, did it put a stress in that friendship and that relationship. He didn't talk to them for a couple of years, as he had to pay $30,000 to the IRS. Okay. Gang, can't make this up. Cannot make this up. So anyway, that is the downside or the closing. I'm going to scare the crud out of you when it comes to doing absentee owners and 1031 exchanges. Make sure that you get some directive, and the correct directive. Don't just ask another agent in the office who may have done one. They are not the source. Go to the source. Ask the legal team. Cardinals got your back. Okay. All right. There you go. There you have it. The good, the bad, and the ugly of working with absentee owners, where to find them. Again, I will be getting this page updated probably tomorrow for you and uploaded tomorrow. So look at my website later and see if it's up there and ready for you, if this is in fact something that you're wanting to go down and work that lane on. So let me open it up for questions. Miss Denise, what you got? I'm gonna go take a peek at the chat box while you are asking your question or comment.
Question about the 1031, like you're saying to talk to title, is there something in the deed that shows that they've done this through a 1031 that title can find? Because I know I was talking to an owner recently and I'm like, did you do this through 1031 exchange? And he said, I don't know. I was like,
Okay.
well, like,
I see
I don't
Kevin.
know
I see
either.
Kevin nodding his head. Kevin, go ahead and turn your mic on, please.
Well,
Um,
if go ahead, sorry.
no, go ahead.
If there's a 1031 tax deferred exchange, it is both legal and tax advice. So we want to be careful about that. There won't be a recordation of a 1031 that is in progress, but the buyer, and there won't be anything on the deed later on when they close it. So the only one that knows is going to be the accommodator, who is the person who handles the money. If they touch any of the money, they get taxed on that. So that's why you have an accommodator. So there won't be a record of it, and they can identify up to three properties for what they're going to buy. And so you need to be careful about that too when you're writing offers on three properties, letting everybody know that theirs may not be the winning deal. And frankly, I'm not sure if we have a form for that here in Virginia. But I'd be very careful about it. But there's no real way for you to know unless you ask. And I would definitely ask the question. You've asked us for, to cooperate with you on that 1031 tax deferred exchange. Are we the only property that you're exchanging into? And then take that into account.
Mm. But again, always ask the legal team um, at Sampson, at Cardinal Nest. Again, we got 30 something lawyers at your beck and call. Touch in with the one of the lawyers. You may have to go through one of the processors, but ask the question. I've got this potentially coming up. What do I need to know? What do I need to advise my client on? And again, as Kevin said, if you are going to list a property that's going to, like an absentee owner, and they're going to reinvest, you do need to identify up to three properties prior to, it's got to be in the original documents that you're considering this property, this property, this property. So
And
again, it can get muddy real quick. So you want to be real careful.
And if they're going to do if your seller is going to do a 1031, then you may want to protect your seller from being committed to the sale to the buyer if they are unable to identify the property. Most sellers go after the property after they get under contract with the buyer. So you may want to consider that to make sure that you've protected the seller, that they don't have to sell if they aren't able to find the uplake there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. So let me scroll through questions real quick. How to get this on the CVR MLS. Again, most MLSs are pretty similar. You have a search button in there. You have a public record button in there. That is where you go. And within that, identify the area or the geographical area. And then you look for the owner occupied drop down button. It's a little tiny box. It's got a little black button, and it's either yes or no. So that's where you want to look for that. Let's see. There's the entire leverage. Okay. I'm giving the personal marketing company a run for their money.
Denise and I were playing.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
said, get your broker's license, right? Because I teach that, but it's like, the law degree is questionable, but it's a lot of work. I'm not sure. Then you end up doing real estate anyway. So what
Yeah,
the
there you
heck?
go. There you go. Yeah, again, the main thing to know is if they are not the current occupant of a property. Now, I believe again, it can vary from state to state. And, we've got several states here. So check, that's why I say check with your legal team in the state that you are in, because some of them require that person must have lived in the property for the last 2 years or for a period of time of the last 2 years for it to apply or not to apply. Ask, 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 ask. Now you know, and you learn. Okay. But again, always, if you're going to tell the client something, I would also reference who you spoke to, when, and what they told you, but it is their responsibility too to help verify that. Because if you misconstrue one word in there, they can come back at you. We don't want that. So there you go. All right. CYA. Y'all know what that stands for. Cover your, there you go. You got it. All right, my friends, that is winding down our time. I'm looking real quick to see if there's anybody else that's got a hand up for a question. If not, now you know. Now you know a few more tips and tricks about absentee owners. This recording will be uploaded probably by tomorrow along with the handout. And with that, go out and be wonderful. Go be awesome. And I don't care what you know. I want to know what you're doing with what you know. Go be great. And I'll see you in the next session.
Thank you,
Okay.
Lynn.
Thanks, Lynn. Thanks,
You're
You're
Lynn.
welcome. Bye for now.
Thank you, Lynn.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you.